One. Boom.
Every time we do it, that lady has to get her 2 cents in, doesn't she?
Every time, always interrupting.
Welcome. We're ready.
All right. So now we're going to go ahead and do the podcast. So welcome back to the Edge podcast with Chip and Christy. I am Chip McCarter, and along with me, as always, my lovely co-host Christy Ogle. And this week, we're a little bonus to the podcast. We are wrapping up our 7 in 7 challenge, and it is how to pick up 7 new clients in 7 days using Facebook for virtually no money, basically free marketing. And then if you do spend the money, that's just, even more results, even better results. So, Christy, if I'm not mistaken, we're just doing an overhaul of what all we've gone over for the last 7 days, correct?
Well, we're adding a couple more things. We're going more in a deep dive. Tomorrow is going to be our overview of the 7 in 7 challenge, but there's a few things that I've had a lot of questions about. So I want to make sure and cover them more in depth for you guys so you can hit the ground running and get those 7 new customers in 7 days.
For sure. And then the funny thing about this is if done correctly, sometimes all 7 of those clients can come the same day, so you just got to be ready for them and be reachable, like we keep talking about.
Yeah, definitely. So how to market on Facebook with some of the free tools that we have. Now, remember, we've talked about for the last 3 or 4 days, the purpose of marketing, going from obscurity to omnipresence and letting everybody know your name. Number 1, who is your who? Who are you talking to? When you're going in there and you're starting to market, call them out. Is it busy families? Is it commercial services? What is it? Because there's a big difference between residential and commercial, and different people are going to perk their ears for different things. So who is your who? Number 2, when creating on Facebook, is you need to know your purpose. Are you wanting to sell more gift cards on Black Friday? Are you wanting to sell more flooring services because it's around the holidays? Are you wanting to sell interior painting because that's where you're at and it's freaking cold right now and you want to do work inside? What is the purpose? If you don't know the purpose, your customer is not going to know the purpose either. So know the purpose of your ad. Number 3, stop their scroll. When they're sitting there on the potty, you want to be able to stop their scroll and pull them in, right? And 75% of all people check their Facebook while they're on the potty, Chip.
Oh, no doubt, for sure. And then the other ones are while they're driving.
Yeah, please don't do that.
Yes.
You want to share value. So remember, it's not add, buy from me all the time. You want to add value. You want to put customer testimonials up. You want to put how-to videos up. You want to show your customers that you care about them. Remember that most special relationship with a customer is where you anticipate their needs. So share value, and also contextual content marketing, using local things to boost you online, because people want to know that you live in their local community and you give back. And pay attention to who responds. Chip and I were talking about this earlier. If somebody comments, likes, or shares your Facebook page, make sure and tell them thank you. Interact with them. Don't just leave those questions up there. You can also turn negativity on your page into positivity by responding to people. And then remember, the more value you add now will put more value for you later. Add value to your customers and that money will follow. So keep those marketing purposes in mind when you're creating on these free platforms of Facebook.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely want to incorporate all of that in. You don't want to miss out on any of that. And honestly, the biggest, knowing who your who is should be your number one priority anyways. You need to know your target market and who your who is and what they're doing. But creating this, so over the last few days, though, we've created a page, and we've gone over different things to do. But when you're creating the page, did you actually focus on contextual content? It's something that I see too many businesses accidentally, just not mentioning. It's a pride thing. We live in Texas, and in Texas, a lot of people have pride for their cities, for the schools, for where they're going. So being sure to being involved in all those things, and just commenting on, hey, we saw, go Panthers if you're in the Midway district, or something for the Waco High Lions. Always be, involving your community into your business as much as possible.
Yeah, you want to go Cougs, China Spring, right? You want to make sure that the people that you get on your business page, it's not just about getting more people to come to your business page and you sell more. I used to have that kind of mentality, but if you've got people from Argentina coming to your local handyman business, that's not going to put a lot of money in your pocket. A lot of people just go after any like. But it doesn't matter if you've got 10,000, 20,000 people on your page and you're talking to them if they can't do business with you. So that's why your local community is so important, and to get involved in that local community, because if you don't, then guess what? They're not going to use your services. So keep that in mind when you're marketing too on your local business page. Chip, I was on Facebook yesterday, and I was scrolling through and I was looking at the businesses that sponsor their page, and there was this great kind of landscaping company. I click on it. It's in freaking Wisconsin and serving me ads in Central Texas.
Yeah, they obviously didn't set that up correctly.
No, they didn't. They're wasting their money for people like me in Texas, where they should be going after their local community, because I guarantee that landscaper didn't come to Waco, Texas. So that's something important to remember also, is to set it up for your local community. Create that business page and keep it local. So just an example, I just put in handyman to my search bar and it pulled up El Paso handyman. Now, I'm not in El Paso, I'm in Central Texas. So when I pulled up El Paso handyman, I want to share a couple things, and no offense if El Paso handyman is on here, but yeah, I'm not the person that you really want to be advertising with. So El Paso handyman, he only has about 90 people. What El Paso handyman needs to do is he needs to invite people to like his page. That's where so many people go wrong, is they don't get people to like their page, and he's really not that active. Like, be active on your business page. El Paso handyman hasn't posted anything for almost a year, Chip.
Yeah, and you see that a lot on pages, and it kind of makes me sad. I hate seeing that, because I like seeing businesses be successful, especially doing, the type of business I run anyways is to help you be successful. So seeing stuff like this, makes me want to call them up and already start pitching, what we can offer for them to help. But staying active, and also, again, like Christy said earlier, not every like has the same value. Not every share has the same value. You also want to make sure you're getting the right area. The fact that that ad came up for El Paso, or no, what was it, Wisconsin, right? The handyman. That was just some kind of slip up and mistake on their end, where they didn't look at the cities. And I bet you anything, there's like a Hewitt, Wisconsin, or something like that. Or, or like a Woodway, Wisconsin, something that's the same suburb here, and they just clicked the wrong one. Because it happens. I've seen it. I've done it. I was advertising in Arizona, I think once on accident, and I caught it.
We all make a mistake. I want to talk about the difference between between a profile and a business page. So I put in handyman and D handyman came up. I'm sure D handyman is amazing, but here's the thing. D handyman is only getting out to his friends, and he'll never be able to sponsor. He'll never be able to do some of the things that a business page is available to do. He's good. He's posting, but D handyman, you're only getting out to your 140 friends. You want to get out to the masses, and you're not going to be able to do that. A profile is tapped at 5,000 people. A business page does not tap out. Look at Coca-Cola, look at Donald Trump's site, look at so many different sites. They've got millions and millions of fans that follow their page, whereas the handyman could only get up to 5,000, and he is definitely not utilizing it at 140 people. You've got a 2% chance of those people using you on Facebook. So you're talking to about 3 customers that you can reach out to on your page, D handyman. So
and they can't boost. Yeah, they can't boost any posts or anything. You cannot advertise from a regular, you can't, other than like on Marketplace. You have to have a business profile.
Yeah, and the second thing is you've got to build this brand presence when you're building your massive following on Facebook. You've got to have a brand of some sort. And D, you don't have a brand. Also, El Paso Handyman did not have a brand. You want to build a brand of what you do. So let's look at D Handyman. He's got, like, what am I looking at, D Handyman? I can't really tell what I'm looking at on your page. So D handyman, tell me more. I want to know more. And just putting these pictures up that are unreadable, that are kind of blurry, that's going to make it very difficult for somebody to call you. They're going to use somebody else because they're like, oh, is that what the work looks like when you're done with it, D handyman?
Yeah, and there's a lot of things on that need corrected, but at the same time, he's automatically at a loss though by creating a whole new, basically a person instead of business profile. Facebook does everything they can to help you because they want their platform for you to be successful on their platform. And when you do that, you're kind of cutting the whole business aspect out. So it's by having a business profile, you get all the features that Facebook offers for free available to you, whereas he's not going to get that. D's not going to get that.
Yeah. So D, if you're on here, if you're listening, give us a call. We can help you out.
Yeah, if you ever, or just go ahead and change it up. Go create a profile for you and build a business page off of it. You don't even have to post on your personal profile.
Yeah. So the next one is one where there's over 620 million people in CHIP. 620 million people are active in this free tool that Facebook has. And I wanted to spend more time on it. Yesterday, I briefly went over it, but today I really wanted to go a little bit more in depth. Because this is, if I had to give everything up on Facebook and only utilize one tool, this would be the tool that I would utilize.
And Christy, what is that tool?
Facebook groups.
100%. Facebook groups.
6 million people are in these groups. It's people that have a shared interest in what they're doing.
Yep.
Join those groups. So this is where that contextual content marketing comes in, right, Chip?
For sure. Yeah, because all the groups are local. They're going to have the city name, the suburb name. It's all contextual. It's all going to be for your area that you're servicing or selling products in.
Yeah. And so how do you find those groups on Facebook? You just
click on the groups. It's a little circle with the people in it. The button,
Even go over here to the ones that are suggested for me.
Well, you're not sharing the screen right now.
Oh, maybe I should.
Yeah, let's show them just so we can see. But yeah, and the thing is, Christy, you had mentioned it a few times in the podcast, but Zuckerberg, man, they spent millions of dollars advertising these groups for business because they put millions of dollars into this platform for it to be able to be successful. And it has been. Being able to share into these groups your posts is the equivalent of being able to of paying and boosting your posts. You're getting it in front of more people's feed that aren't necessarily following or liking your business or even a friend.
Yeah, exactly. So what you do is you either go on your phone to the left-hand side or your computer, and we're showing you how to do it on a computer. You click on the groups. It's super simple. As you can see, I've got several groups that I manage and that I'm a part of, but even Facebook shows you ones that would be suggested for you. As you can see, boxer moms. I'm a big boxer fan because I own boxers. It shows me the things that I might be interested in: power washing, female entrepreneurship. I remember the 70s. Those are not necessarily places that I can advertise in, but I can in the for sale groups or the local groups. So
well, even oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I was even in like that group, the commercial cleaning, whatever it was. That might not be a for sale group or one that you can post actual like ad posts in, but you can add value in groups like that. If you're a handyman, get in like a local neighborhood type of group for your area and just start adding value, post information, educate your potential clientele by posting about it and by setting yourself as, in that group as the expert in that field. People will naturally reach out to you for that stuff because you are consistently adding value in that area, in that field.
Yeah, and so there's 3 different kinds of groups on Facebook. There's public groups, there's closed groups, and there's secret groups. You want to go to the ones that are public in your local area. If I put in you at Texas groups, which is where I'm at, there would be probably 5 or 6 different groups. So you go in there and you look at their rules and you see what the rules are, and then you navigate around those rules. Like for sale Hewitt, I own the group, but you can join any of these groups that we're talking about. Usually you might have to answer some questions, like on the Hewitt group, it's like, are you in the local area? Have you read the rules? And do you want to advertise your business? And
and be sure and answer those.
Yeah, make sure and answer, because now there's bots connected to the Facebook groups that will kick you out. And Chip and I were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
You want to find out what day you can advertise your group. There's some that are like Waco, Texas businesses, or like your group, Chip, keep your business local.
Yeah. So
advertising your group.
Yeah. So that group is specifically for local business to advertise to local residents. But yeah, because it's not specifically a for sale group. It's just an added value and support your community group. And so that's also one that you don't just want to consistently post the same generic post over and over again, because eventually it's just going to get shut down. That post is, and it's not me that's doing it, it's the bots that's doing it. And I'm not going to go correct that because that's not what that group's for. So, that's how it's set up.
Yeah, so you can see this group has about 14,000 total members.
And that's what I was about to say. I'm sorry to cut you off, but look at the number of people in it. Make sure if you're only allowed to share your post to a certain number of groups, make sure you look at the number of people and how active the group is daily. You don't want to be in a dead group where nobody's liking, commenting, sharing posts when if it's not an active group, it's most likely not where you want to be.
Yeah. As you can see, this is a very active group. There's about 400 posts a day. There's over 3,000 in the last month. It was created about 7 years ago. You want a group that's active, that people are working in. But this is for the local community. There's actually more people in this group at 13,700 people than actually live in the Hewitt, Texas area. But it's the surrounding area. There's only about 10,000 people in Hewitt. So, I mean, this is a great group. And I use this group all the time because I own this group. I only let my handyman service in there to advertise. And as you can see that my post that I put up, there's one for the 7 and 7 challenge.
Yep.
But I put several up about my business. You can also, when you own the group, you can put yours as the featured things. People put buy, sell in here all the time,
Yeah.
but they also put about their business.
Yeah, they advertise services. Yeah. And
Yeah.
those are great platforms for that. I mean, I think I don't want to jump ahead, but we're on number 3, and number 5 is create your own Facebook group, because this is owning your own traffic and being able to control it is a huge part of marketing. It's super crucial, and it helps you get to the point where you're bringing in the exclusive leads that you want, instead of the wild goose plucking out of thin air leads that you get, but yeah, I mean, Facebook groups, they wouldn't spend so much money on them if it wasn't such a solid platform that they can back up. It's a great platform, and you need to be utilizing it almost daily. Anytime you're on Facebook posting, you should have kind of a thought in the back of your head, okay, now which groups am I going to share this out to?
Yeah, and one thing that I do, and I'm going to teach tomorrow, Chip, is the power hour and how to daily work on marketing your business on Facebook, because it has to be top of mind for you to be able to build your business. It's not like I posted in here once and I had a flood of business. As you can see, I market in here very, very often for my multiple businesses. So it is huge to my business. Probably about 50 to 75% of my business comes from Facebook groups specifically. So that's why I would give up everything else and only use Facebook groups. Mm-hmm. Now, the next thing you can kind of do is start your own Facebook group like Chip and I have. It's super simple. All you have to do is go to that groups tab, think of something that's missing in your local area. This is great for handyman services, realtors, financial advisors, anybody in the service-based business industry, is to start a local community group in your area. It's kind of like next door, but on Facebook. It could be just Hewitt, Texas in the know. It could be China Spring, Texas in the know. It could be Waco moms in the know. And you add this to your local area, and then people join it. Ask your friends to join it, of course.
Yeah.
And people join it, and then when they're in there, you can start advertising. It doesn't mean bomb at your business all over them every single day. But what you're looking at on mine is stuff that I've put up over the last year or so. So I can consistently go in there. I add new work that we've done. And I know my purpose is to get them to call me. Like, necessarily in Waco, Texas, it doesn't mean they're going to just go on there and say, I want your services today. They call me because I have that call to action that says call now.
Yeah. And and just another style of group, because these groups are great, but you can also, like my support local group, I interview business owners on there. If you're a business to business company, if you have one, that's a great way to like meet other business owners. But what the way I look at it is, there's for sale groups and then there's added value groups. So build a group, and not necessarily around for sale, but around added value, education. How can you educate your community about what you do? The biggest, common misconception that a lot of business people have is they love to say, well, I know everybody. I know everybody in Waco. Okay, well, cool. Does everybody know you? And that's what matters. Do they know you and know what you do? And when you start a group and start growing people and educating them on what you do, people now know and have it in the back of their mind to use you if they ever stumble across that situation.
Yeah. So there's lots of different kinds of groups. There's the for sale groups, there's the employment groups, there's the community, like the boxer mom or the Doberman Pinscher moms, whatever, that you can go in there and just read the rules. And if you don't see in the rules when you can advertise, reach out to the admin on the page and ask them if you can do it. Yesterday I showed you guys Waco, Texas girls night out, and it says in the rules that on Wednesdays and Fridays you can advertise your business. So just get in there, and it's so powerful because it doesn't cost, like Christy Talbert here posted in Keep Your Business Local Waco. Go and join this group if you are locally in Waco. It's a great group. She posted about what's going on. Chip and I post in the area. Here's Mr. Handyman of Waco, not the best way to add curb appeal. So
that's a good picture. That's a good stop. That's a good scroll stopper.
Yeah. How could they increase their people on Facebook from this post is bold, call now. You want that call to action.
Yeah.
And maybe not put, don't let it be a case of the Mondays. Maybe they posted this on a Monday, but one other thing they could say is remember to ask that question with the picture. Like, does your mailbox look a little bit ratty like this guy's, right? Yeah. Call us now, we can take care of it. So those are a couple of tips to keep in mind when you're doing this. Remember, you want to know who is your who. Their who would be people with jacked up mailboxes.
Yep.
What's the purpose? We want to get more people that have jacked up mailboxes and fix them because they're super easy to do. Stop the scroll with the picture. That's great. I'm not going to lie. That one's a good one. I might have to steal it. And then share value. Maybe have a before and after picture, maybe an after picture of a mailbox that they had fixed. And then pay attention to who responds to it and then respond to them too. So those are some things to keep in mind. Any handyman business, any business to do it, you want to stop their scroll, pull them in and get them to pick up the phone and talk to you. Their ad is great, but just a couple of tweaks would go from great to outstanding. Yeah,
because I would have hit more content on the pain points.
Yeah,
kind of like yours do. I see what they're doing too. I know they're trying to do the optimal, like 17-word posts, because most people don't read past that. But if you've already stopped the scroll and hit that pain point, people will read it.
Yeah, have somewhere for them to go too.
Yeah, and they have a button. I mean, they don't have a button on this post or anything.
No, so I mean, Facebook groups are great, but like Chip and I've done, we started our own Facebook groups. So keep that in mind to start your own group. And if you don't know how to start a group, just freaking Google it. It's so simple to do. I could stay on here and train you for 30 minutes how to start a Facebook group, but all you have to do is really Google it and you'll figure out how to do it. So
you don't even have to Google it. You just have to follow the steps. Go to groups and it'll say create group, click it and follow the steps. There's nothing to it. That's what I love about Facebook is it makes it simple for the business owner. But you just have to take that time to do it,
It's super simple. And you could create a mom's group. You could create a dad's group in your local area. My husband is a part of a freaking dad's group that's got 2.6 million people in it. I can't get in it, but he shows me posts from it all of the time. So if your target market is dads in Waco, Texas, I don't think there's a group for that. That's a great group to start. If you're in Abilene, Texas, and there's no Moms in the Know, Abilene Moms in the Know is the one that I'd be starting. So
Yep.
think about that. You can create a group or you can join groups and advertise your business. But when you're doing it, don't spam it. Add value.
Always.
Yeah, add value. And then if somebody goes, hey, do you know a handyman? Do you know a roofer? Do you know? Yeah, I do. And comment on it.
Yep.
And that'll help you build your following on Facebook by adding value, not spamming.
For sure. All right. And then number 4, we kind of did 3 and 5 there, but number 4, create and have events, Facebook events. And Christy, I don't know if you want to share the screen or if I don't have my Facebook up, but creating an event on Facebook is super easy. There's even ways to charge people to go to these events, but don't worry about that yet. But these events, like Christy and I, our podcast, they're all set up through events on Facebook. We create events for everything we do. This is an event on Facebook, if I'm not mistaken, right, Christy? And what's really cool about this, and this right here is a golden McNugget that I'm going to say 99% of people do not know. Events on Facebook rank on Google.
What?
When people are searching for events in Waco, they are finding the Edge Biz every week on page 1. The top few events that are chosen go to Google searches, because all these are websites. Every page on Facebook's a website, so like a different URL. So though the events themselves bring traffic in through Google and Facebook if done correctly.
Yeah, and all you have to do is click on events. I would go through your business page when you're creating the event. You just hit create the event. Maybe you're going to have an event for Black Friday. It's probably going to be online. And then you could have an event for Cyber Monday. Well, Christy, Chip, what do you do for Black Friday and Cyber Monday when you're a handyman business? Create a gift card.
Yep, gift cards. And then
an experience. We're gonna have a whole training about this in the near future.
Yep, and Christy's a genius with these, but on the online events can just be like podcast style also. That's what, a matter of fact, that is our podcast is an event on Facebook every week. Yeah. And then you can have even like an in-person. If you're having an in-person event, I urge you to do this, to set it up on Facebook. The results you'll get are now I've done correctly. If you share it out, if you make sure to put it in your story, put it everywhere you can where people get it to as many people as possible, even boost it, that even pay to get it in front of people that you don't have a chance of getting in front of without paying.
Yeah, it's super simple to do. So maybe you're going to do buy 3 gift cards, get the 4th for free. Something like that, pretty simple, that's still going to be advantageous to you as a business owner. You could do this one online or in person if you have a brick and mortar handyman business. But I would say do it online, definitely, especially with this short of notice. You could have, a Black Friday event that they buy 3 $25 gift cards, they get the 4th one for free. Or a Cyber Monday event that says, when you get $1,000 worth of handyman services, you get 25% off. So it's $750. So you could do lots of different things and play with it, make sure that it's still profitable for you. But by creating this event, you can also invite up to 500 people for the whole week. So if you're going to do those 2 events in 1 week, you're going to want to split them up. But if you have a Black Friday and a Cyber Monday, this dings them and everybody that's interested in the event every time you post in the event. So it can be huge for your business. You can create a click funnel or a purchase through your website page. So there's lots of different things that you can do. You've just got to do it, and you've got to do it now. You can't
And
wait.
Christy, how do you host the event online on Facebook? What do you do?
Zoom.
Zoom or stream? Well, but even through Zoom, you will be streaming live. So
Yeah.
you don't have to use Zoom.
No.
Zoom is
Facebook.
very controllable though. I do like using Zoom. But Facebook Live is great. Just click the button, go live. I do it. Well, it's been a minute since I've done it, but I do it all the time. And it's a great way to not have to type a lot of content. I love it. I would prefer to get on live than sit here and type 5 original posts, with original content.
Yeah. And it's kind of like we've done here today. We've taken this live event that we're doing, we've invited people to do it. Then we also shared it on our personal pages and then shared it in several groups. Then we're going to take it, recycle it, put it in an email and send it out to everybody that's registered that didn't make it. So we utilize these over and over again. Plus I leave the live up in the Facebook group so they'll know how to contact me. 75% of all views come after the live in the replay.
Oh yeah, for sure. 70, I'd say 95%. So depending on the turnout. But man, yeah, in these events, there's so many different options with them. So when you get in there, play with it, figure out what all you can do. You can post in the event. You can, I think you can obviously you can invite friends, you can invite other people. These events, it's not like you're hosting a party. It's just a live, it's just a video. And it can be interactive or it can just be, one to many with nobody being able to say anything. But the events, man, I stand behind those. They're great for SEO to get your name out there. They confirm a lot of things across platforms, Google and Facebook.
Yeah, so number one was to create that business page, which you can do events through. Number two was to have a brand presence online. 3, join Facebook groups. 4, list events. And 5, create a Facebook group. So we literally could stream this live and keep your business local with Chip. It's streamed live in our Handyman Secrets for Women in the Handyman Business, in our service-based business secrets for women, in McMarketing 101, in Edge. It's on my profile. It's on his profile. So we put it out there everywhere. That is not spamming. These are our communities that we created that we're keeping top of mind when we're creating content. Then it also goes on our stinking podcast, and then it goes on our YouTube channel. Like, we put it everywhere. Chip puts them up on our website. So we put this content everywhere. We're not wasting an ounce of what we could do with the free tools that are utilizable by handyman businesses. I don't even know if that's a word. Utilize.
But the truth is we practice what we preach when it comes to this. We definitely stand behind it, and we know that the results are real. We know that this is super feasible for any business owner. Even if you think that you're not tech savvy, that you're slow, you're not great with computers, I don't care. I wasn't. You can ask anybody that's known me. I never had a Facebook up until 1.5 years ago, until I started doing business online. I didn't get on Google. The most I did was watch YouTube videos. And I had my mentor, the guy that I paid a lot of money to train me, basically said the same thing I'm saying now. You don't have to be the top of the class. You don't have to write code. You don't have to be computer literate and all good at it. This is all click and drag, simple stuff. Click a button here, drag it a little bit here, and typing up content and posting pictures. Very easy stuff. Anybody can do this. You just have to know how, and that's what we're teaching.
You have to take what Chip always says, imperfect action.
Imperfect action and KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
There's no reason to overthink any of this stuff whatsoever. And, number 6, the next one we're talking about is create live streams. And we've already started touching on this. This all rolls into one big marketing strategy, even though we're breaking it down into simple steps. This all everything ends up helping each other. The live streams help your page. Your page helps get your word out there. It's great. It's just one big circle, but get on the live streams. If you're shy, look, if my buddy Sammy Jarrett with Wildlife X Team can get on and do lives and go to groups, this is the biggest introvert I ever knew. And now he's out there running a business, making sales, killing it. And he's all practicing the same things that we're talking about right now.
Yeah, the next one is to reach out on Facebook, collaborate with other people that are in similar businesses that you have.
Yeah,
Not
influencers.
but similar people that can help you build your business and you can help them build your business. Chip, you're kind of newer in the handyman business than I am. I've been in it for 8 years. You've been in the handyman business going on your 2nd year now. My question to you is, when you got into this, who did you collaborate with first?
So when I first started the handyman business, well, I mean, I get, but another handyman business.
I do residential. Who does what?
Yeah, we do different handyman stuff. So I guess my most beneficial collaboration is with Christy and sometimes spouse, and we are not competitors because we don't even really do the same types of jobs that often. And that's almost, and it's what's funny is a lot of handyman businesses are like this, and they view these other people as competitors, and they don't even do the same services. You can collaborate. Just reach out and ask. The business owners are willing to tell you what they do. I guarantee you that. In the worst case scenario, they tell you no. But collaborate with other people in similar niches like roofing, landscaping, any service at the house. They're great to collaborate with too. And I collaborate with a roofer. I have a concrete guy I collaborate with. The more you get out and get active, talk to people. Don't just watch people do their job and watch them leave. Get in there and talk to them. Make connections.
Yeah, one of the very first collaborations that I had was with a roofer in China Spring, Texas. And he sent me this, because when they bid a roof that it's been damaged by hail or a tornado or whatever, right? They bid the roof, but they have to bid the whole house for the insurance company. If there's a bad hailstorm, tornado, windstorm, it could tear down fences, it could damage the hardy board, it could mess with their soffit fascia, it could mess with their windows, lots of different things. So he gets a call on a weekend that says, hey, I'm getting ready to move. I got a bunch of handyman services to do. Can you help me out? I got to get my house ready to sell. So he sends over this lead to me. I don't know if he knew what he was sending to me, Chip, by the way.
Okay.
He sends me this lead, and it's this woman who's moving across the United States. She needed, at first, her deck power washed because she'd never cleaned her deck. And it was a massive deck over by the Brazos River. They overlooked the river, but then the deck went down the steep embankment to the river. So it was probably about 2,000 to 3,000 square feet that needed power wash. So we go there, we do the bid. Plus she adds on, oh, I need to update the house. Oh, I need to paint the exterior of the house. Ended up, because of our collaboration with a roofer that we reached out to on social media, a $30,000 job in January in Waco, Texas. That's huge for a handyman business, because a $30,000 job kept 6 of our guys busy for about 6 weeks.
And what did you do though? I mean, you just stuck your hand out. You just reached out.
Waterfall.
Put your hand under that waterfall of money. You know what? Closed mouths don't get fed. They asked, they collaborated, they reached out to the roofer. And sometimes they'll reach out to you, but most of the time you're going to have to open your mouth and ask. And so get out of your comfort zone, get out of your shell, do whatever you need to do. I feel like if you're not getting out of your comfort zone at least once a day, you're not doing the right thing, because you got to be pushing yourself, you know?
Yeah, so think about in your business, who can I collaborate with that's going to send me business? If you're a handyman business, roofers, HVAC companies, they make a mess all the time, and we go in there and clean up after them. Electricians, they make a mess, we clean up after them. Plumbers, they make a mess, we clean up after them, right?
Yeah.
Cable installation companies, if you're on the commercial side, same thing, you want to collaborate with them. Construction companies, they don't want to come in and take weeks to do touch up or change orders. So those are some people that you can collaborate with to get you more business by just sending them, hey, did you know that we're here in the area? But when you're reaching out to them, don't say, hey, Chip, you have a handyman company that does commercial services. I want to send you all my commercial work. Can I have all your residential? It's not about you reach out to them. Tell them what you can do for them and help them. I sent a granite company $250,000 worth of business in 2018. Of course, I got all their handyman work. So those are some things for you to pay attention to so that you can make more money, and you can find them easily on Facebook.
Super easy.
Messenger, phone call, email. Yeah. I would suggest Messenger because 75% of all messages are actually open. And it's usually the decision maker who opens the message on social media.
And if it's not the decision maker, it's being read to the decision maker, you know, it's getting to them. Get Facebook Messenger. I would be willing to go out on a limb and say at least half of my digital marketing was closed via Messenger. Just little like web designs and SEO stuff like that, because you don't have to have a cell phone or an email. You're right there and you got it. It's super convenient. Yeah. And then the very last one is ultimately putting it all together. Create your own community and what we mean by that is, you know, get your likes and your followers, create a group and start growing that group. Start adding value. What you'll do is you'll see the people that consistently interact with you. You'll see it grow for one, but you'll also start being able to realize who your true fans are. Turn on your badges, and the more likes you get, the more Facebook will try to get you to do. But turn on your badges so you can show your clientele, like, who, you know, thank you for being the biggest supporter of my page. You know, it's little small things like that. The first time I got a badge in my group for digital marketing, I was all proud, you know, like I felt the pride, like I'm involved, I'm something here now. So it's kind of cool.
The community is really cool. I do want to go back to that reaching out. One thing I forgot that I had wrote down is if you go after people that are influencers on social media, then you can grab their followers and convert them to your followers, kind of like Keep It Local with Chip. He interviewed me during the global pandemic, and I knew the power of influencers at that time. And he had 1,000, 1,500 people that they were local, and that's my target market. So when he reached out to me, even though he had less fans than I did, it was my target market that was on his page. And so I wanted to be able to bring those people along with me on my journey also. So keep that in mind to go after influencers. Maybe they have a podcast or they do lives all the time. Or they're a rock star on Facebook. You want to reach out to them and see how you can collaborate with them, get them more customers, and also get you more customers in the long run.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that back up, because that is super important. find the influencers in their area and get them to become your fan. And that's a goal that you need to set for yourself. Find the people that influence your clientele, though, your target market. They can influence, if they're influencing a bunch of little teenage girls and you're selling handyman stuff, you might want to, that might not be the influencer for you. But the guy that's making plumbing videos, that's bringing all these homeowners in, that right there is an influencer you need to grab.
Definitely, definitely. And remember, when you're talking to their target market, you want to speak to that target market. Because remember what we talked about earlier, you can go in one of those groups and it could be 1,000 people and it's about raising boxer dogs, but you're talking about home improvements. You can be able to tie it up. Having boxers, I know that boxers tear up everything and they'll actually chew your drywall up. So if it's a local boxer community, that could be something as a handyman that you speak to, like, hey, we've repaired several people in this area drywall because of these bouncing boxers. Something like that. Remember who their audience is and speak to them so you can bring them in to you when you're creating that community, when you're reaching out to collaborators. Remember who they are and speak to them. That's the purpose of what your marketing is. For sure. And and always add value. Never stop adding value. That should be in all these groups. It's the law of reciprocation. The more you give, the more you're going to get back. So just consistently be finding ways to add value and solving that one problem that you are a specialist at solving. Exactly. So these were the 8 different ways to market on Facebook, a little bit more of a deeper dive into it. If you want to continue your journey with Chip and I, our next big thing is getting all your advertising for 2022 done over the next 6-week period. We're going to help you build your advertising. We're going to help you get that advertising and marketing out there. It's called McMarketing 101, how to market your business for 12 months in just 6 weeks. All you have to do is go to mcmarketing101.com/1 to keep on this journey with Chip and I so that you can focus on your marketing and build your business, because most people want to get to that $1 million handyman business, but 93% of handymen never get there. They can't figure out how to market to get out there to that $1 million or 6-figure handyman business. And we can help you get there when you put in that imperfect action. Yep, it's take action. It doesn't have to be perfect. Take action every day. What I've been doing recently is every morning I come up with my call to action for the day and I write it down and I make sure that I do it immediately, and then the rest of my day just falls in line after that because I've already set myself up for positive momentum. And also towards the middle of December I will be hosting probably a 2 to 3 hour webinar on how to build, grow, and optimize your Google My Business profile, which in my opinion is a must-have for a business in 2021 going into 2022. So keep a lookout for that. If you don't have a Google My Business profile, be ready. I'll build one along. You can build one alongside with me. If you do have one, be ready to learn, be ready to figure out how to optimize this to where you can get onto page 1 of Google just by posting and being active on your profile. Definitely. You guys, thank you for joining us today. We do have one more left tomorrow where we're going to be talking about implementing and building this massive Facebook audience and getting 7 new customers in the next 7 days. You have all the tools you need to build your business. Now, how do we do it and dive in? I'm Christy Ogle. And I'm Chip McCarter. Thank you guys for joining us. Have a good one.